Hi, it's Marissa. Thank you so much for tuning in to our very first Facebook Live session. This is actually my first time on Facebook Live, so I'm a little bit nervous, very excited. But firstly, just want to start by wishing you a happy new year. I hope that so far, we're nearly at the end of January, which is hard to believe, but I hope that so far your New Year's resolutions or the goals that you've set yourself for this year are already underway and well on track to being achieved. Our mission at Rise High is to empower you to achieve your financial dreams and goals. So that's why a huge part of what we do is centered around education. And part of that education, for those of you that are already engaged in our community, you would know that we run seminars for property investors, and we also this year have introduced seminars for business owners through Rise High Accounting, which is really exciting. So if you are a business owner or a property investor, definitely encourage you to go to our website, check out our seminars this year. We've got some really great topics coming up. We don't sell anything at our seminars, they're purely for education, and we hope that you get huge value from them. In particular, we have a property investment seminar coming up on the 28th of February, which is really for beginner property investors or property investors that have got maybe one or two properties that really want to learn how to make their property portfolio work for them in a safe way and mitigate all their risks and make sure they're making the right decisions throughout their property journey. So let's get into the session. So basically the way that today is going to work is that we'd really love you to interact with us. We'd love to hear your comments and questions throughout. I'm happy to answer any questions about anything to do with money, finance or property. So if you do have a question or comment, please, you can either submit it on Facebook in the comment section, or you can email it to Amanda at risehigh.com.au. Amanda's in the room with me and she'll be reading out the questions as we proceed, and we'd really love you to be involved in the session. So please feel free to email through your questions or submit them on Facebook. So let's get into it. Today it seems fitting, given it's a new year, to talk about how to help you achieve your finance goals. So obviously the first step is to set your finance goals. Now, hopefully a lot of you listening today would actually have already gone through this process of deciding what goals do you want to achieve in 2017 in relation to your finances. It might be, saving for something special like a holiday or a wedding or a new car, or it might be buying a new home or building a new home. Perhaps this is the year that you're going to take control of your Perhaps this is the year that you're going to take control of your financial future and buy your first investment property, or maybe grow your investment portfolio. Or maybe you're looking to set yourself up so that you can help your children go to private schooling in high school. Whatever your goal is, it's really important to have clarity on what it is. And running your finances is something that's really important to actively do on an ongoing basis. So if you haven't already set your goals, I really encourage you to just have a little bit of a think about what you'd like to do. And if you are in a relationship, perhaps you need to have a chat with your partner so that you're both on the same page about what you're trying to achieve this year from a finance perspective. Today I've got 4 main tips that I want to run through with you, which I hope will help you regardless of what your goals are. So the first tip is pay yourself first. So I've actually been observing and working with very well-off people for the last couple of decades, and I've really seen the journey that they've gone on, and people that come from all walks of life and different circumstances, people that earn different incomes. But what I've actually noticed is that it actually does not matter how much money you earn, it's what you do with your money that counts. I just want to repeat that because I think it's really important. So it doesn't matter how much money you earn, it's what you do with your money that counts. So I've seen lots of people that are on 6-figure salaries that are really struggling financially. I've also seen people on very average salaries that are doing really well financially because they're making different choices about how they spend their money. And what I've actually realised is that the people that do well long-term financially, they all have one thing in common, and that is they pay themselves first. Basically what it means is they're prioritising themselves and their family and their future, and they're saying, I'm going to pay myself before I pay anyone else. So how that actually works is that before you've spent money on bills, entertainment, basically general living, you are actually putting a percentage of whatever you earn into an account that is for you and your future. What you're doing is you're determining a certain percentage of your income that you're willing to set aside, and you're saying, this is what I'm going to pay myself. So once you've actually gone through this process of deciding what percentage of your income you're going to set aside, I'm going to go through how you can make this a really easy thing for you to manage. Now, whether you're looking to, save for something special, or buy a new house or investment property, or whatever your financial goals are, this little habit of paying yourself first will really get you in the right groove to ensure that you can achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. And I would suggest that you try and work with a minimum of 10% of your salary. If you can do it higher, then great. Obviously, the higher the percentage you pay yourself first, the better off you're going to be financially, and the faster you'll achieve your goals. So that brings me to my second point, which is along the same lines. But what I want you to do is, once you've figured out what percentage of your income you're going to be able to pay yourself first, make it automatic. Don't make it a manual process that you have to do every fortnight when you get paid. Make it an automatic thing. So what I want you to do is think about setting up 3 separate bank accounts. One bank account is your spending bank account. This is the bank account where all of your money comes in, and this is the bank account where you're going to basically cover all of your general living expenses, all of your bills, all of your entertainment, everything you need to survive and live is coming out of the spending account. You're then going to have an emergency account, which is what the name suggests, an emergency. So buying a new dress for a party on a Friday night is not an emergency. This is only reserved for absolute emergencies. The third account is your investment account. It's your future account. And this account is going to have money set aside in it, which you can't touch for any other reason apart from to invest in your future for yourself and your family. Once you set up these 3 accounts, which is really easy to do with your bank, get your employer to split your pay 3 ways. So basically what you'll do, if you decided that you're going to put 10% aside in your investment account, then you tell your employer to put 10% of your income in your investment account. Perhaps you're going to put 5% of your income into your emergency account and the remainder into your spending account. Whatever your percentages are, that's fine, but make it automatic so that basically in your spending account, you've only got money in there that you are actually going to allow yourself to spend. So I hope that helps. If you are self-employed, obviously, your situation is a bit different. You can't just tell your employer to split your pays, but I would encourage you to do a similar system. So when you actually take your wage out of the business or your drawings out of the business, split it 3 ways so that you're still allocating part of your income to spending, emergency, investment. I think this habit will really set you up well for the future, and if you can get into this habit, it will help you with whatever financial goal you have. So thirdly, my next point is to get a finance mentor. Now this might be a family, a friend, it might be your accountant, it might be your mortgage broker, hopefully your Rise High mortgage broker, your financial planner, whoever you feel that you can trust enough with your goals and dreams that will hold you accountable. This is the key thing. Someone that will hold you accountable. So it's no good having a friend that's going to just, not mind or just not even worry about asking you how you're going. You need someone that's going to hold you accountable for what you're trying to achieve and accountable to the plans that you're setting for yourself to help you to achieve those things. That will really help you to stay on track throughout the year. As things get tough, it is always nice to have someone that can help push you back into the right path. Finally, and this is really important, I would really recommend that you review your mortgage. Now, for most of us, our mortgage repayments are the biggest expense that we have. The interest rates now, are a lot cheaper than they were a year ago or 2 years ago. So if you haven't reviewed your mortgage recently, you could actually be saving a huge amount of money, which you could be reallocating to your future fund, just by doing a simple home loan review. To do a home loan review is completely free. There is no cost involved, and the worst case scenario is that you walk away knowing that your current home loan is the best product for you at that point in time. But it doesn't hurt to actually just sit down with a mortgage broker, review it, and make sure that you are saving as much money as you can. Also, interest rates, are changing and the lending policies are changing. So things are becoming a bit different for investment properties versus owner-occupiers. So there's never been a better time to just review your position. So I really encourage you to do that. Now, I just want to remind you that you are tuned to our first Facebook Live session on Rise High Financial Solutions. My name is Marissa Schulze, and we really would love you to get involved. I think we've already got a few questions that have come through, but just a reminder, if you do want to get involved and ask questions or submit any comments, you can do that through Facebook Live, or you can email amanda@risehigh.com.au. So I might pass over to Amanda. Do we have some questions, Amanda?
Sure do, Marissa. Okay, so we have a question here from Oriella, who wants to know who your financial mentor is and why.
Oh, that's a great question, Oriella. Thanks for getting involved. So I guess my financial mentor, I was really lucky to be surrounded by some great financial mentors from a young age, and probably my biggest financial mentor was my dad. And at a young age, he introduced me to the concept and the book of Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And that sort of, I guess, triggered my interest and my love for financial literacy and learning how I could, make a life for myself. So I was really fortunate to be surrounded by people that were really supportive and helped me to learn about investing, about money, about how to make sure that financially I could achieve what I wanted to achieve. So yeah, it's always nice to have a financial mentor. So I hope you have one too, Oriella. And if you don't, I really recommend some great, there's some great finance books out there. So if you need any recommendations, please send us another email and we'll be happy to send through a few recommendations for you.
Thanks, Marissa. Sonia's also asked, she wants to know how she can start saving and turn things around. She always feels like they're struggling financially.
Well, Sonia, thank you very much for your brave question. And I think you're not alone. A lot of people feel like they are just chasing their tails financially and living from day to day or week to week. It is a common problem that we do have in Australia. Unfortunately, many Australians do spend everything they earn, if not more. So I think the best way I can think of this is that I truly believe that there's always a way to find savings, and often we're spending money without realising what we're spending. So for example, when my husband and I first got married and started doing our own budgeting exercises and working out how our finances were going to gel together, we actually started just measuring what we were spending money on, and we actually found that it was the little things that we did daily that added up over time. So things like, buying the coffees at the coffee shop every day. We found that my husband, loves his coffee, so he was buying about 5 coffees a day. And we found that if he cut back to 1 coffee a day at the coffee shop and made the rest at the coffee machine in his office, then we could actually save about $5,000 a year. I also found that I used to buy lunch a lot because I worked in town, and we found just by cutting that back and taking leftovers instead of buying lunch, I was able to save about $3,000 a year. So I would really encourage you to look at all the little things that you're doing. I'd also encourage you to look back in history, because I'm sure there was a point in time when you were earning less income than what your family is earning at this stage. So it is, we can all live on less income. So there is a way to find savings, and probably the best thing to do is to actually review what you're spending and where the money's going. Once you understand where the money's going, you do have the power and control to make changes to your spending habits. And if that's too difficult to do on your own, I'd encourage you to sit down with a financial planner or someone that can help you go through your budget and work out where you can make your savings.
Thanks, Marissa. We've got a question here from Melissa. Melissa wants to know what the future looks like for interest rates and in particular for property investors.
Well, Melissa, that's a great question, very topical. Things have been changing in the last 6 months for interest rates, particularly for property investors. So a lot of property investors would know that there is now different interest rates being applied to investment loans versus home loans for many of the lenders. And it seems like that space is going to continue for some time. So it does seem as though, although no one has a crystal ball to see exactly what's going to happen with interest rates, but it does seem as though we've hit the bottom of where interest rates are going to go. In recent weeks, we have seen banks increasing their interest rates, despite the fact that the Reserve Bank have left them on hold. So I think you should be prepared to expect that your mortgage expenses will grow if you've got a variable loan. And in particular, that's another reason why you should be reviewing your situation and planning for that cost to increase over time. So hopefully that's helped you, Melissa. But yeah, it's definitely something that you should sit down one-on-one with your mortgage broker and talk about to make sure that you're on the right track to managing any rate rises that we have on the cards in the future. Thank you so much to everyone who's already shared our video and liked us already. We really appreciate it. And also, these are awesome questions that we really appreciate the interaction. As I said at the beginning of the Facebook Live session, we do have a couple of really great seminars coming up. In particular, we've got a property investment seminar on the 28th of February, which is definitely one not to be missed. So if you are interested in property investment, or even if you know nothing about property investment, but you just want to learn how you can do something for your future, other than just sitting back and relying on the pension or super to make sure that you can have the retirement you like, then please register and come along. You can check out the details on our website. I think we're running out short of time, so once again, thanks for everyone who got involved. Really looking forward to seeing you again next time. We hope you found this session useful, and if you have any future topic suggestions that you'd like us to cover, please email amanda@risehigh.com.au. Thanks and have a great day.